Hey everyone, today is the start of our videos for the statistics and probability. So we're going to start our first video by discussing the random variables. We were going to be dealing with random variables for the course of our discussion in statistics and probability. So when we talk about random variables, it is a numerical quantity that is assigned to the outcome of an experiment. It is a quantitative variable whose value depends on change. So in our discussion in statistics and probability, we'll be dealing a lot with outcomes and experiments and events. Now, depending on the outcome of those events, that will be the value of the random variable. So there are two kinds of random variables. We have what we call a discrete random variable and the continuous random variable. When we talk about a discrete random variable, it is the one that can assume only a countable number of values. So here in the discrete random variables, the values would tend to be countable. Like you count as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so on and so forth. Examples of events with a discrete random variables would be the number of fruits, number of friends, or number of coins, since in those scenarios we just count them as normal, like there's like 5 fruits or there's like 7 friends or like 3 coins. For the continuous random variable, it is one that can assume an infinite number of values in one or more intervals. So here we do not count it normally like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can have decimals here. For example, we consider distance to be a continuous random variable because in distance we can have 1.5 kilometers or 3.7 meters. We can also consider time because we can have 13.5 seconds, especially on a stopwatch, or like 15.37 minutes. We can also have liters of water, like we can have 15.5 liters of water. So that's for the continuous random variable. The main difference between the discrete and the continuous random variable is that you can think of like the discrete random variable cannot have decimals, but in continuous random variable you can have decimals. Since for the discrete random variable it is countable. We can have an example here. So an example is that 2 coins are tossed. Let t be the number of tails that will come out. Now determine the value of the random variable t. So in our situation here, we have we've been tossing 2 coins. So that is, we have the first coin and we have the second coin. So that is our event, and depending on the outcome of this event will the value we can determine the value of the random variable. Take note that there may be different values of this random variable. So we'll have here the outcome. And here we'll have the number of tails, because what we'd like to know is the value of this random variable t. Since t is the number of tails that will come out, we'd like to know what would be the number of tails depending on the possible outcomes of this random variable. So if we flip coins, the first coin can appear as heads, while the second coin can also appear as heads. So our outcome can be HH. Heads or heads. So the number of tails in this scenario is 0. Another outcome would be heads and tails. So in this scenario, the first coin is heads, while the second is tails. So the number of tails is 1. We can also have tails heads, since the first coin is tail and the second one is heads. Still, the number of tails is 1. And the final outcome, we can have tails tails. Both coins would have 2 tails. So the number of tails here is 2. Therefore, we can say that the random variable t has the values 0, 1, and 2. So we can say here that this is the values of the random variable t, since this 0, 1, and 2 represent the number of tails of a particular outcome. So we just have to deal with the number of outcomes of a particular event. We have to be aware of the experiments that we've been dealing with and the outcomes of these experiments and the value of the random variable that we are pertaining to. So that's everything about the random variable. For our next discussion, we're going to have the discrete probability distribution. So thank you guys for watching, and I hope you learned a lot today, and see you guys on the next video.